Today I'm joined by Robert Krause, a local property investor in Cairns. Started his property journey quite recently. Today I want to talk about his journey, what his goals are, where he sees the Cairns market going, and we'll just see where the conversation leads. Robert, how long have you moved to Cairns?
I've been in Cairns since 2005.
Yeah, okay. What brought you up this way?
Mainly the weather, a job, the fruit, the nature.
The fruit, the nature, I like it. Where were you prior to Cairns?
I lived before that in Dubai.
Okay,
yes.
yeah. So a big move.
Yes, it was.
Originally from Australia?
No, Germany.
Germany? Okay, yeah. Even bigger move?
Yes.
Jump around a little bit.
This is home now, so
yeah. So you've been here since 2005, what's that? 14 years now?
It is, yeah.
Time's flying by.
Yeah.
And what, have you invested in anything before?
I've dabbled a little bit in the stock market, but I found out you shouldn't really invest in something that you don't understand.
Yep.
Made a few mistakes.
And I guess that's
also something real.
Yep.
Tangible, I thought would be more appropriate.
I guess that's the beauty of property in its basic form. It's a little bit more simplistic. There's less moving parts and there's more, like you say, tangible. You can stand in it, you can feel the spaces. I think sometimes with the stocks, unless you're really deep into it, you can often get blindsided by something that other people may have saw coming but you didn't see coming yourself.
It takes a lot more knowledge and this real estate I find, it's I can touch this, I can see this, I can see when someone renovates something, is it good, is it not good?
Yeah.
You're providing value as well to people who live in the places. So for me it's providing a service while also making a living hopefully of it at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess, I was having this chat with my wife recently that property is like a business when you're investing in it, and it's a business that you control, where a stock you can't control that, you can't change the price, you've got it's out of your hands completely, where a property you can renovate, you can do work to it, you can change that to help develop it. What got you into property investing?
I turned 40.
Yep. Look, I wouldn't have guessed it. Okay.
And realized I haven't done anything for my pension yet.
Yep.
So this is my start basically.
Yep.
Started in March this year, 2019. Just paid off my first property, which then led me to be able to get some more equity in there. Yes. Pension. So making a plan. For me, the plan was to do 5 properties.
Yep.
And that income from that rent can actually make it work.
Yep.
I know I've done a lot of reading beforehand, was involved. I've been very conservative before because there is a bit of work involved as well in real estate. You got to look after the tenants and stuff.
Yep.
And that always put me off a little bit. But now I made a commitment and said, no, this is what I can deal with, I can do it.
Yep.
And the numbers make sense. Basically that's the reason. And
I think with that first purchase, like just back in March, but I imagine that first purchase would have given you so much confidence once you really start to understand the process. You can read, you can study it until you've actually gone through that purchasing process. I think often it's less daunting than what it first may appear.
It was a bit scary because I didn't know what I was getting into. The first one was an easy one, but the first investment property, getting finance done, that was an extra step for that one. And then you have to do the renovations. I tend to go for places that aren't looking that good, put a bit of work in, put a little bit of my own touch in, make it a nice living space for someone to live in. It was scary in the beginning, but now that I've done it a few times, it feels better.
And so you started off in March. We're filming this now in November. So you started March 2019. We're currently filming in November 2019. What's that, 8 months, something like that?
Yeah, pretty much.
Really thereabouts.
You could say, let's make it 9 months, like a baby gets born in 9 months.
Yeah, that's a gestational period. I like it.
It's been
So during your childbirth, your 9-month period, how many properties have you bought? What are we at?
5 investment properties.
5 investment properties, been very active in the market. That's, what's that, 1 every 2 months, less than that. It's
pretty much, yeah. Spotting some good, really good places, just like the one we're in right now. It needs renovation, but it's certainly worth it for long-term tenants.
And you talk about a retirement plan, is your goal to hold on to the property for 30 years? Are you trying to do a renovate and flip, or what's?
It really depends where the market goes. I think mostly I'm interested in the rent.
Yep.
And because that's an income that's coming in every month, and that will be my pension basically.
Yep.
One thing I've learned in investing is I think the long game is important.
Yep.
If you go out and speculate, it can go wrong, it can go right.
Yep.
If it happens to be that the market goes up,
Yep.
And prices surge just like in Sydney and Melbourne,
Yep.
why would I hold on to these properties at
Yep.
this point? But the plan is to hold on to them and actually make an income from
And
them.
I think when you're buying, buying these cash flow positive properties that don't cost you anything each week to hold on to,
Yes.
you're a lot less susceptible to, if prices do go down, the rents historically have always gone up or stayed the same. Even in a downturn, rental prices have stayed very much on par or on flat when the prices have dropped. So I think when you are buying these positively geared properties, they're a lot more secure. You're not having to worry about chipping money in.
Yeah.
I think it would be nothing worse than chipping money into an asset that's also dropping at the same price and being hit with that double. I mean, I think that would make you really almost force you to sell in a falling market, where if you do have the rental income coming in, prices are going. No matter what prices are doing, you're not forced. Your hand's not forced.
Yeah. And I'd say insurances and rent usually never go down.
Yep.
So, yeah. So I'm hoping for stable market.
Yep.
I don't need the economy to boom or anything to happen. People still want to live.
Yep.
That's a basic need. And yeah, so fingers crossed it will go well.
Absolutely. And so retirement's your long-term play, having that cash flow is sort of your main goal there.
Yeah.
You mentioned buying properties that need renovation. Is that any reason behind that you prefer to do the work yourself over buying something that's already done?
Well, I lived in property myself, rented, and the standards weren't always that great. And I want to really create a living space for someone else that I would live in myself as well. So I want a nice stove, nice floor, nice walls, and I think by providing that value, you can actually ask for more money in rent as well. People will appreciate that. Not everyone will, but the few that will pay more for it. And also that helps, I think, the property market in general. Like if you provide more value to the property, then rents go up, prices for property go up.
Absolutely. I think sort of 2 points I'd like to add to that is, firstly, when you do have a quality property that you offer a tenant, chances are your tenant's going to stay for a much longer period of time. So you're not having those vacancies where the property might sit vacant for a week or 2 weeks each year.
Yep.
You're going to have a tenant staying for an extended period of time. And then also as well, when you get in and do all those renovations yourself, you know that you're not going to have to touch the bathroom for another 20 years. You know you're not going to have to touch the kitchen. It sort of buys you a length of time there that you can essentially not have to worry about any major maintenance issues.
Yeah. At the moment, sorry.
Yeah, no, you go.
When I look at the tax law, for example, it's not really good for doing renovations because the depreciation on capital works is, I think, 2.5% per year, and everything else you buy, you can depreciate over a few less years, but it's not really attractive for an investor. And I think that's one of the main reasons why there isn't much renovation going on in a lot of properties, because it's not tax effective.
Yep, no, 100%.
Really hoping that the government is doing something about it at some point to stimulate the economy a little bit.
It'd be interesting to see what happens in that space.
Yeah.
With you live in Cairns, when you were looking at investing, did you look at other markets, or was there just you wanted to buy in your backyard, or was there something that drew you to Cairns as an investment?
I think for me it was important to be close to it, so if something like a leaking tap is there, I don't have to pay $200, I can just go fix that myself.
Yep.
And also, as I said, it's not just an investment and let it sit there. I have a relationship with the tenant, and if there's something wrong, I want to be able to fix it. If I live somewhere else, it's not.
Makes it hard.
Yeah.
I guess, a prime example, we're in this unit earlier and we had some tilers over, and if you're living interstate or out of town, it makes it very hard to coordinate those trades, coordinate renovations. So I think there is value to be had in investing in your own town. And I think we're just fortunate in Cairns as well that the rental returns are so strong. We are in a positively geared market for a large extent.
Yeah.
But it's sort of twofold there that it just happens to be your hometown and a good spot to be investing.
Yes.
Where do you see the Cairns market going? Do you think we'll be stable for a while? Do you think prices could go up?
My feeling and my hope as well is that the prices go up, like any investor would, I think. But as I said, I don't rely on it because the rent is the important thing. What I've seen in other places before where I lived is something very similar to what's happening here. The rent is going up, the city is growing, people travel to work, long commute hours, people say, oh, let's move to the city. So that's one of the main drivers, I think. Cairns' population has been growing consistently over years. It's small, it's not booming, and there might be a boom coming, there might not be a boom coming, but there will still be new babies, and still need to live somewhere at some point, and that is a steady growth. And there's not much space out there, so market logic says that demand goes up, prices go up.
I think another thing as well that I've noticed from your portfolio is the properties that you are buying at the moment, I think, are well below replacement costs. There's just no way a developer can come in and build units for the price that you've been buying them.
Yeah.
And I think that gives you a bit of a guarantee that you're not going to get oversupplied.
I've looked specifically for smaller places because they're easier to take care of. Obviously, you need more numbers to do that. If you buy a house, you just got one point of failure. You've got 5 different hot water systems that could fail potentially, but it's a balancing act, exactly.
So you bought 5 properties in the last 9 months.
Yeah.
Out of those 5, has there been any unsuspected hurdles that you've come across? How have you found tenancies? How have you found transitioning into that ownership position?
So far, probably only negotiating the price.
Yep. Depends who you negotiate.
Yes. So I don't think I have really. It's been a smooth ride so far. Fingers crossed.
Out of the 5 you bought, what ones have they all had tenants in place when you bought them? Or
3 had tenants in place, and they were good tenants, so long term as well. And the 2 of them are empty at the moment.
Empty at the moment during renovations.
Yeah.
No, excellent. Do you have any more intentions of buying properties in the next year, or is that you sort of done for the moment, or are you just going to see what happens?
I think at this stage the plan was 5.
Yep.
I'm satisfied. But if you come up with a very nice offer, I might say not no. So
I think that's sort of
you found already a few nice properties, so.
See a bit of myself in that strategy of that we're good. Oh, look at that one.
That's the thing. Yeah.
That's a bit too good to pass up, but I think it does become almost an addiction at a point in time when you're buying properties that are not costing you a lot out of pocket, returning a cash flow from day one.
Yeah.
It's hard not to be throwing money into the market when it's like it is at the moment.
I think it's a bit like women buying shoes.
It's just house collection.
It's a bit more expensive to do this houses, but or units.
Well, thank you very much for joining me today.
Yep.
Great to chat with you. Great to knuckle down on some ideas and get your thoughts on things.
Yep.
I look forward to
Pleasure to be here.
a few more deals into the future.
Okay.